Hi guys, Happy New Year. Welcome to this glorious January 1st morning of 2020. I wanted to make this video to do a quick recap of my 2019 aha moment and also tell you about what I have coming up in 2020. I have an announcement, something I'm very excited about what I'm doing this year, and it's going to affect you guys, so stay tuned for that after my 2019 recap. So 2019, about a quarter of the way through the year, I started suffering from acute pain. And that pain was coming from two surgeries that I had. One on my back about 5 years ago, and the other one on my leg early part of 2018. For those of you who don't know, I snapped my leg while filming elk. Actually got hit by an elk, spun round, snapped my leg, and have now a titanium rod and a bunch of screws put through that leg. And that was starting to give me problems at the beginning of last year. And I went to see the doctor, and the doctor put me onto the neurosurgeon, who said, well, we better, the next thing is to get you back into surgery and fix your back. And I really didn't want to go back into surgery because, multiple surgeries like that can just cause more issues. And so rather than doing that, I thought, I'm going to look at what else is going on in my life and see if I can change something in my life that's going to help heal me, or at least create a pain-free existence for me. And so I looked into non-inflammation diets, basically looking at a diet that would be an anti-inflammatory diet that would help not only take the inflammation away, but also just cause less inflammation. And when I started researching it, I found that most foods we eat today cause a huge amount of inflammation in our bodies. Pretty much all processed foods do, but wheat does. And so when you start looking at the food groups that do, and you take them away, you're really just left with raw fruits and vegetables, some fish, kind of going back to basics. And that was pretty hard for me to think of doing. It meant giving up baked products, bread. I love bread. It meant giving up pizza. It meant giving up beer. I love a good IPA, but it meant, giving up something I love that much. But pain is one of the greatest influences there is. And I realized that if I was going to get out of pain without going under the knife, that I was going to have to do something pretty drastic. And so I went on the diet, and within 2 months, I lost 13 pounds in weight. I had so much more energy, it was incredible. I became clear of mind. I could just focus on tasks so much more easily and for longer periods of time. And within a short space of time after that, I became completely pain-free, and it enabled me to go back to doing the things that I love doing, like being outside, hiking, filming wildlife documentaries in remote areas. All of those things were being impacted by the pain that I was getting from inflammation. And pretty much all the pain I was getting was from the inflammation in my body. Yes, it's to do with the injuries I have, but the inflammation was then causing the pain by squeezing nerves in my back and all sorts of other processes. So that was my aha moment, and that really is that we are what we eat, and we've heard that all before, but it's incredible when you actually start really thinking about that. It just shows, today it's very, very hard to eat really healthily. We're sold all of these processed foods that promise that they're healthy on the packages, and they're not. And the harm it can be doing inside our bodies is incredible. Just in fact, now that I've given those things up, when I have a piece of bread, because I will have bread and beer occasionally as a treat, but it's a treat that comes with bloat, and it comes with inflammation the next day. It's incredible. I mean, it's in almost real time, those things now happen to me. That was my aha moment, 2019. I took it upon myself to get healthier, and it's been incredible. Now, when we're at this time of year looking at 2020, the beginning of the year, we're looking at making New Year's resolutions. And that's fantastic. We're all looking to transform and to change. But what I would say is be careful what you look to change in your life, because it's so easy at this time of year to say, okay, I've never been to a gym before, but I'm going to start going 4 times a week because I want to lose weight, or I want to build muscle, or I'm going to start doing yoga, or I'm going to do this or that, or stop drinking alcohol, or whatever it might be. But look, it can be really easy to say those things and do it for maybe 2 weeks to a month or so, and then it gets old, or it gets boring, or it doesn't fit into your routine. It doesn't become a new habit, because we're trying to take on too many things at once. If you've never been to a gym before and you start trying to go 4 days a week, that's a lot, and it's probably not going to last. So my advice is, look at trying to take on things that you are actually going to be able to do for the full year and, for the rest of your life. For me, I did kind of go cold turkey with my diet, but that's because of the pain I was in. But for this coming year, I'm making small changes that I know that I can continually keep up and form new habits. And I think it's so important because, as I say, there's really no point doing something for a month and then giving it up and just going back to the same way as you were, if it's something you really want to change. So yeah, think about that. If it's going to the gym, maybe think of going to the gym once a week, starting out that way, moving up to twice a week after a week or 2 or a month, and then just continually going and learning to enjoy it and seeing the benefits you get from it, but making it possible to continue doing. So 2020, I have an announcement. First of all, I want to thank all of the people that have continued to follow me and write to me with questions with regards to wildlife filmmaking, people who follow the podcast. We've got a big followership there now, and I have to apologize first of all because I took a hiatus because of my health issues, but also because of just how busy I was over the past year. The podcast is full of incredible information with the guests that we have on there, the wildlife filmmakers, the top of their class, top of their game. And getting hold of those people and actually getting them on the podcast is extremely tricky. But we are continuing. I am continuing with the podcast, and we will have more episodes coming out very, very shortly, so stay tuned. So again, thank you to everyone who is listening to the podcast. So the announcement for 2020, I'm starting a mentorship program for Master Wildlife Filmmaking, the Master Wildlife Filmmaking Mentorship Program. And this has been something that I've been thinking about doing for a while. One of the things I've been working on is a course, an online course for wildlife filmmakers. But that takes a lot of resources and time to, especially time, to create. But also what it does is it creates a course. It's kind of a one-size-fits-all. And what I've found through speaking with many of you is that really, you have very individual needs. Someone might be having issues with editing. Someone might be having issues with a camera and filming, or building a story, or finding stories, or connecting with like-minded people to film those stories. So everyone has their own individual kind of issues. And so I figured rather than starting with an online course, what I would do is start up a mentorship program. A mentorship program where I can answer people's questions and customize the answers specifically for that person. But it will be a group, and so it'll be multiple people, part of a community, that can ask me questions directly through the forum, and I will, on a weekly basis, get back and answer those questions. And there'll be other things like trainings and bonuses. We'll have bonus interviews with filmmakers and some really cool stuff. But the idea of the program is to really help you to move forward with your vision of wildlife filmmaking. When I started out around 20 years ago, it was extremely difficult because there weren't any resources for me out there. There certainly weren't mentors. And so every obstacle that I ran into, I had to find a way to get past that. And there was just no one that I could just pick up the phone or, get online or email and ask. and it became really hard. It was a trial and error situation. And I want to help you guys alleviate that problem, and so that you can spend your time worrying about what you actually need to do to move forward, rather than trying to overcome obstacles constantly. And so the idea of the program is exactly that. You ask me questions, I answer them, and hopefully that can cut down your trial and error basis and help you move forward far more quickly than if you had to work out every issue yourself. So if you're interested in being part of the membership program, or the mentorship program, it is a membership, then direct message me. DM me on whichever platform we're on, you're looking at this on right now, and I will send you information about how to get into the program. It's going to be starting up around the beginning of February, and so we're just in the process of getting the advertising together to start it up, and I will start the forum very shortly, within the next 2 weeks, and we will get this going. So if that's something that interests you, then please, as I say, message me, let me know you're interested. I will send you the details, and we can move forward from there. So in the meantime, I wish you all the success for 2020. It's going to be a great year, especially if you go for your goals, your dreams, set reasonable goals for the year that you can attain, and go and get them. So in the meantime, grab your gear, get outside, make it happen.